In the age of sword and spear, one warrior's name still makes history tremble. 7 years, 70 battles, 0 defeats, until his final battle against his own pride. For 2,000 years they whispered his title, the enemy of 10,000. Their last goodbye became China's most performed tragedy, because her devotion still haunts US, and his defiance through eternity. History writes about victors, but legends remember only Xiang Yu. Xiang Yu came from an important Chu military family. When his grandfather lost a critical battle against Qin and killed himself, young Xiang Yu wandered the war-torn states with his uncle Xiang Liang. But he never forgot this humiliation. It drove his lifelong determination to destroy the Qin Empire. He scorned conventional learning. Books record names, he declared, and swords kill singly. I shall learn to break nations. Thus began China's most explosive military education. In Kuaiji, when the first emperor's parade passed through, 2 future rivals saw 2 very different futures. That man? I could replace him. Xiang Yu blurted out. Now this is how a real man should live, Liu Bang sighed. One saw a throne to seize. The other saw a lifestyle to achieve. Their rivalry was destiny. The warrior prince versus the cunning opportunist. China wasn't big enough for both. In 209 BCE, as the Chunsheng Wuguang rebellion shook the Qin Empire, Xiang Liang and his fiery nephew Xiang Yu saw their chance. In a daring midnight coup, they slaughtered the Qin-appointed governor of Kuaiji. 23-year-old Xiang Yu alone beheaded dozens of guards. By dawn, they'd rallied 8,000 elite warriors and a burning ambition. With these troops, the core of what would become the Chu Iron Army, they crossed the Yangtze under crimson banners. But smart rebels need legitimacy. Enter King Huai II, a puppet monarch descended from Chu's royal line. The perfect figurehead to unite anti-Qin forces under the battle cry. Remember Chu's humiliation. Rebel warlords and heroes, including Liu Bang, flocked to join his cause. The Qin general crushed their uprising, forcing the rebels into retreat. Xiang Liang, Xiang Yu's uncle, won several battles but grew complacent. The Qin army ambushed and killed him in a sudden counterattack, turning the tide of war. With momentum on their side, the Qin army besieged Zhao at Julu with 200,000 troops. Desperate, the Zhao king begged Chu for help. King Huai of Chu split his forces into 2. Northern Army, Julu Relief. Commander, Song Yi. Deputy, Xiang Yu. Mission, break the Qin siege at all costs. Western Army, Guangzhong Offensive. Commander, Liu Bang. Mission, invade Qin's heartland, with the famous promise, whoever enters Guangzhong first shall be king. However, after reaching the front lines, Commander Song Yi camped 46 days, did nothing. Instead, he claimed to wait for Qin and Zhao to exhaust each other, but secretly sent his son to Qi for a cushy government post, and threw lavish banquets while his troops starved. No longer able to endure Song Yi's incompetence, Xiang Yu stormed into his commander's tent and beheaded him. Song Yi conspired with Qi against Chu. The season's cold, the people poor. We must strike now. With command now his, Xiang Yu immediately mobilized his forces toward Julu, where 200,000 Qin elites had trapped the rebel forces. Another 200,000 lurked in the periphery, ready to reinforce the siege. while Allied armies camped safely outside the encirclement, merely watched from their walls. Then Xiang Yu made history's most insane gamble: sink the ships. No retreat. Burn the tents, sleep armed, smash all cooking pots, take only 3 days' rations. This wasn't just motivation, it was math. At 8-1 odds, they'd either take Qin's food by nightfall, or starve by day 4. What happened next became legend. 50,000 starving rebels versus 200,000 armored legions. Chu soldiers fighting like demons. 1 man equals 10 Qin troops. 9 consecutive victories in single day. When the dust settled, 200,000 Qin troops annihilated, terrified Allied armies crawled on knees to Xiang Yu. The supreme commander of all rebels was born. Another 200,000 Qin troops surrendered 8 months later. Xiang Yu faced an impossible choice. Keep them? They could mutiny. Feed them? Impossible. Release them? They'd regroup. His solution still chills historians. 200,000 buried alive. This single act eliminated Qin's last army, cemented his demon of Chu legend, and tormented his legacy for millennia. As Xiang Yu's troops were drenched in blood at the Battle of Julu, Liu Bang captured the Qin capital Xianyang, then slammed shut the empire's front door Hongmen Pass behind him. The enraged Xiang Yu taken Hongmen Pass. Now 400,000 Chu troops camped at Hongmen, while Liu Bang's 100,000 Han soldiers held Bashang Plateau, just 20 miles apart. After receiving the secret report, Liu Bang hoards all treasures and plans to declare himself king of Guangzhou. And the warning: that peasant has imperial aura. Strike now, or kneel tomorrow, Xiang Yu ordered. Attack tomorrow. But haste the twist. That night, Xiang Yu's uncle Xiang Bo, sworn brother to Liu Bang's strategist Zhang Liang, rode to Liu Bang's camp and revealed the attack plan. Liu Bang treated Xiang Bo like family, calling him elder brother and promising a marriage alliance. Xiang Bo returned and tried to persuade Xiang Yu, who felt that the military attack could wait a little longer. The next day, Liu Bang went unarmed to Hongmen and pleaded earnestly. I was merely guarding Xianyang on your behalf, great king. With Liu Bang's submission and acknowledging Xiang Yu's authority before the feudal lords, Xiang Yu concluded that if the issue could be resolved at the banquet table, there was no need for direct confrontation. His strategist Fan Zeng raises his jade pendant to indicate, kill him now. The assassin Xiang Zhuang performs a sword dance, each thrust accidentally aimed at Liu Bang. But Xiang Bo blocks every strike with his own body. Liu Bang fakes a bathroom break, then gallops away, leaving behind gifts and dignity. This is the origin of Chinese idiom Hongmen Banquet, which means the trap banquet. After the feast, Xiang Yu marched into Xianyang, executed the entire Qin royal clan, and put the Xianyang palace to flames. Then he revived the Zhou-era feudal system, maintained the puppet righteous emperor as a ceremonial figurehead, proclaimed himself hegemon king of Western Chu, divided China into 18 feudal states, including Liu Bang, now king of Han, relegated to remote Shu territory. The powerful Qi state fractured into 3 weaker principalities. At just 26 years old, the hegemon king hauled Qin's plundered treasures back to Chu, establishing Pengcheng as his new capital. From this heartland, he began playing the kingmaker, arming rival lords against one another to maintain control. Yet within weeks, rebellion erupted in Qi. The first crack in his carefully constructed order, forced to launch 3 northern expeditions. Xiang Yu found himself in a nightmare. First campaign, crushed Tianrong, only for Tianheng to rise. Second campaign, seized cities that rebelled the moment he left. Third campaign, drowning in attrition while Liu Bang grew stronger. While Xiang Yu's elite troops remained mired suppressing Qi's rebellion, Liu Bang struck like a dagger to the heart, leading a 560,000-strong coalition of 5 warlords to sack Pengcheng. The Han forces plundered Chu's imperial treasures, then spent days wallowing in drunken victory celebrations. Little did they know, Xiang Yu was leading 30,000 elite cavalry on a desperate 1,500-kilometer dash covering the distance in under 72 hours to save his capital. The Julu fear was coming home. Memories of Julu's massacre triggered panic. Allied formations shattered before fully assembling. Trampled corpses clogged the Sui River. 200,000 plus lay dead or wounded. Liu Bang barely escaped with a handful of riders, while his father and wife were captured by Chu forces. Despite the victory, Xiang Yu diverted north to suppress Qi's rebellion instead of annihilating Liu Bang in Guangzhou, a respite that saved Han's future. After the Battle of Pengcheng, Chu forces were trapped fighting 2 relentless wars, a grinding stalemate against Liu Bang in the west, and a costly rebellion in Qi to the east. When other warlords saw Chu's weakness, a domino effect emerged. Pengyu cut off Chu food supplies. Ingbu switched sides to Han. Han Xin conquered the north unchallenged. Xiang Yu sent 200,000 troops to save Qi, but Han Xin drowned them all by breaking a dam at Wei River. After this, even Xiang Yu's best troops were too exhausted to fight on. By this point, Liu Bang's main forces were stretched to their limits. Troops exhausted and provisions depleted, with Chu cavalry constantly harassing Han supply lines. It became impossible to predict which side would collapse first. The warring states ultimately declared a truce, partitioning their territories along the Honggo Canal. Though both sides swore to the terms, Chu rules west, Han rules east. No more war. The first meaningful concession came when Xiang Yu returned Liu Bang's father and wife, revealing the Han leader's psychological advantage. Liu Bang's hollow promise of eternal friendship bought him exactly 60 decisive days to mobilize a 500,000-strong coalition from conquered territories, encircle Xiang Yu's forces in a steel noose at Gaixia, strangle all grain supply routes to the starving Chu army. Surrounded by ambushes on all sides, the once mighty Chu army was reduced to merely 100,000 exhausted remnants, starving, demoralized, and on the verge of collapse. When the 100,000 starving Chu soldiers heard their own folk songs echoing from Han lines at night, they realized the Han knew Chu's music. They must control Chu's heartland. Their families' homes were occupied, likely had surrendered. 10,000 plus soldiers deserted at night. Facing inevitable defeat, Xiang Yu planned a desperate cavalry breakout. His beloved Consort Yu, recognizing her presence would hinder his escape, performed the farewell my lord dance, then committed suicide. A final chapter of this tragic love. 800 elite cavalry charged through Han lines at dawn. By Wu River, only 28 survivors remained. As the Han army closed in, every survivor pleaded, "Cross the river. Jiangdong awaits its king. We can rebuild." But the hegemon gave his reasons to die. 800 followed me through the siege. Now only a few are left. How can I return to Jiangdong? Shamed before the elders who trusted me. Heaven has doomed me. Why fight fate? He sent away his last men. Carry Chu's spirit across these waters. They'll hold them here, then turn to face Han's approaching army. Alone. Killed 300 plus soldiers while walking backwards. With a dozen wounds bleeding, he chose the cut rather than let Han soldiers claim the killing blow, his body never touching the ground, Han troops catching it like hungry wolves. He chose honor over survival. Days later, his rival Liu Bang ascended the throne as emperor, founding the Han dynasty, a golden age that would last 400 years. Why do we still tell Xiang Yu's story? From 8,000 rebels to challenging an empire, the ultimate against all odds tale. His Farewell, My Concubine became China's most performed tragedy, because some goodbyes haunt us forever. Ambush on all sides, the epic musical battlefield. A single pipa telling the entire tragic fall of Xiang Yu. No words needed.